Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Namaskar. Welcome to UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. This HRDC of Gujarat University, Ahmedabad is one of the pioneering HRDC in organizing various programs. The programs like RPE, the programs like online refresher course, the programs like online Guru Dakshta program, and many more programs. It is the first of its kind which has organized the PhD coursework in blended mode. Friends, we came out with various videos, various series, various lectures to improve the professional development of the people working in higher education in India. Today we are coming out with one more topic on research methodology. I feel proud and very happy to introduce the resource person of today. He is Mr. Manoj Kumar. Manoj Kumar is a name which is known to everybody who is doing research. Friends, you know what is Shodh Ganga? Do you know what is Shodh Gangotri? You must be aware of. Do you know what is inflibnate? Many a time people remember Manoj Kumar whenever they talk about inflibnate, whenever they talk about Shodh Ganga, whenever they talk about Shodh Gangotri. He is a man behind this. Manoj Kumar is a scientist E, that is very senior scientist of Information and Library Network Center and Inter-University Center of University Grants Commission situated in Gujarat, which is broadly known as inflibnate. He has bagged many international and national awards for inflibnate. He has contributed to the awareness on plagiarism and ethics in research in academia in India and abroad. He is sitting on various committees, various prestigious committees of MHRD and UGC. He has worked on policy and various other levels of research related to higher education in academia. He is one of the strong pillars of inflibnate. He contributed to the development of Shodh Ganga and Shodh Gangotri of inflibnate. Let us invite Manoj Kumar ji for his scholarly deliberation.
Namaste, Namaskar, Badanu, Swagat Karuchu, a programma. I welcome all of you for the blended PhD coursework program designed by HRDC Gujarati University. And at the outset, let me thank HRDC, especially the director, Professor Jagdish Joshi ji, who is a close friend of mine, for entrusting this topic to me. मैं टॉपिक है थोड़ा हिंदी में बोल सकता हूँ, कभी कभी हिंदी में भी बात करेंगे आपको समझाने के लिए, और स्लाइड में भी मेरा हिंदी है और गुजराती भी अगर चाहिए तो मैं बोल सकता था, but I will stick on to the words which are used in English. So notification जो UGC से आया वो हिंदी में भी है और इंग्लिश में भी है. So with my thanks and regards and appreciation to HRDC, let me start the program, the course module on ethics. Basically, if I'm putting in one single word, if I borrow the word from University Grant Commission to denote it, I'll be more happy to use UGC's term of academic integrity. But this is again the misconduct of research in any kind of academic activities. It could be in research or academic activity. So misconduct can lead to a lot of honesty issues, sincerity issues. So it is basically academic dishonesty. So welcome to the module, and this will cover about the scientific research where the research is compromised. In addition to that, at the end of it, one of the major area of challenge where UGC gave extraordinary notification is plagiarism. So if you look at the UGC's guideline, which is issued in the year 2018, it's not a guideline, it's a gazette notification. And that notification is called extraordinary notification. That means everybody has to follow. So we have this notification in place for last 2 years. And this talk just next two modules, which is based on the notification, where promotion of academic integrity is the first title of the notification. So that is what is the exact content which is going to be covered in this overall modules. There will be two modules. One is the basic of academic integrity, honesty. In addition to that, we will have plagiarism in academic publication. And again, regarding plagiarism, it's how to avoid plagiarism, definition of plagiarism, types of plagiarism, and we'll also see some of the tools used on that plagiarism. So let us start with the first, academic integrity. What is that? Now, if I'm talking about academic integrity, there are so many similar words associated. So let us see some of these words and move ahead with the module. So the topic is ethics with respect to science and research, and intellectual honesty and research integrity. So I already told we'll be happy to take the word academic honesty. So if you look at the words in Hindi and Gujarati, let us see that what is that translation of this: academic integrity, misconduct, honesty, ethics, sincerity. So naitikata, that is what is the ethics. Pramanikata, that is what is going to be the integrity part of it. All this, you know that all these are qualities. आपको पता है ये सब अपना inside में एक आदमी का अंदर होना चाहिए, a moral values. It is not something can be taught in a classroom. So that's why qualities cannot be generally counted. So it becomes difficult whether somebody is having academic integrity or somebody is conducting misconduct, but the result of that will be visible, which can be caught variously. So I will be giving some examples. These are the common terms used, which is related with the academic integrity. So misconduct will be a word I will be using it. And plagiarism is what I can say one of the subset of it. Now, let us start with the UGC notifications. There are a couple of notifications which are Gazette notification issued by UGC for the purpose of enhancing the quality of research. So one of the challenges which the higher education sector was facing was the data plagiarism. UGC has given specific guidelines. So what is the prerequisite for attending this module? Download this notification, which is shown here in the screen, the extraordinary notification issued in the year 2018 July. And this is in place, this is in practice by universities now. So all research scholars, supervisors are covered under this notification. And in addition to this notification, there is another notification that is not notification, it's a public notice, which came for self-plagiarism, because there was a lot of queries regarding self-plagiarism. So that is the prerequisite, and I hope that you will read this. And there was another notification issued in the year 2019 by UGC, which is amended in the year 2016, which was the basic document for PhD, the minimum standards and procedure for award of MPhil and PhD. Since you are doing your coursework, I assume that you should read this notification in letter, understand it letter and spirit. Now, let us look at some of the aspects of that. One of the clause in this says, after awarding your PhD, that PhD will go in a national repository. And that repository is called Shodh Ganga. So I am also scientist in charge of this repository. That's why I am taking it. After notification, UGC asked us in FilmNet Center to have a single portal for uploading PhD thesis as well as synopsis. So we named it as Shodh Ganga. There are 2.5 75 lakh PhD theses as on date, which is free access. You don't need to register anything. You can access it. So that is another notification which you should also read it as if you are a research scholar. So there are 3 things which I have already listed, and the links will be given in the reading material. Now, let us also say there was an amendment came just 2 months back, April. During the lockdown only it is issued, public notice. It's not an amendment, public notice about self-plagiarism. There UGC has used a word called test recycling. So these are the 2 data plagiarism and self-plagiarism. These are the 2 plagiarism, type of plagiarism to deal with. And what happened if plagiarism appeared in somebody's article? That all will be discussed in the second module. Now, these words, I will move on to the definition given by UGC. In the academic integrity notification, that is promotion of academic integrity, UGC has defined plagiarism. That means it's an academic dishonesty and breach of ethics. Look at the definition. UGC has not used that copying somebody and pasting, and that is on the second line only. The first line, anything which you consider as academic dishonesty or breach of ethics. That is exactly the topic today about the misconduct. Involve using someone else's work and presenting it as your own. This could be 2 types, data plagiarism and please hold on that. Before going to that module, let us see what kind of misconduct can happen in academic sector. The most popular misconduct, it is copying in the examination. That is cheating in the examination. Look at the picture. You can see the picture. That picture shows, it's a picture taken from one of the state. I will not name the state, I have removed it. Wherever it is copying in a classroom, cheating is similar. 300 people are arrested in the year 2015. CBS News. What is that? It's cheating, it's a misconduct. Then such kind of cheating, when it is coming to research, how it is happening. One is happening in the examination. The other one is in scientific research, if you compromise some of the qualities like honesty, integrity, objectivity, carefulness, openness, respect for intellectual property of another person. So what it is called? It is the bauddhik, the idea. So intellectual property of another and confidentiality on doing research. Then when it comes into publications, responsible publications without copying anybody. So these are some of the principles of scientific research. And to put it in simple 4 words, I will use integrity, ethics, respect, and honesty. So 3 words is very important. One is integrity, ethics, and honesty, which you can do. So what is integrity? Can anybody define integrity? Integrity is when you do the right thing, even though no one is watching. So that's, we generally, people are not there to watch us. We tend to do some kind of mischievous act. This kind of mindset comes. So that is what is called integrity. When such thing happen in academic area, that is what is called academic integrity. Now, promotion of academic integrity. The notification is for promotion of academic, because everywhere this should be given in sensitization seminar, training program, awareness, how to keep academic integrity. And this is related to, this is a moral value. If you take a society as it is, it's morality. It's a moral thing which one should keep. Now, while doing research, there are 4 areas where ethics can be questioned. And we will feel that what is the problem when I compromise ethics? Are these going to affect anybody? मैं तो ethics follow नहीं करेगा तो किसी का problem नहीं हो जाएगा ना? क्या प्रॉब्लम होना चाहिए अगर एथिक्स नहीं होगा तो. So it seemed to be very simple, but I have few examples from the history which I will show you to tell that if you compromise on the ethics part of it, you are compromising the life of the people, and you are putting our earth, the world, into danger. Because many of the researchers, there are different kind of research. So we have scientific research. So many of the research, which may be, some of the research may be related to environment. Some may be related to human being. Right now, I am talking today when the pandemic situation is in serious position in the country. Even in Ahmedabad or Gujarati University, it has been closed because of the COVID-19. We have to have mask. I carried mask and following the SMS because the situation has come to like that. So research concerns about human, a vaccine invented for that, that has to go into very well-defined procedure which will not affect human life. Even the experiment conducted to invent a vaccine. So similarly for animal, dealing with animal, experiment with animal, there are international guidelines now. Any experiment with human and animal, there are international guidelines, international policies on that. And finally, as a researcher, what are the ethics I have to follow? So we have to follow all these guidelines when conducting research with the ethical mind. The first one is human ethics, dealing with human as the research subject, which has generally medical and social issues. Dealing with animals, that means again as a research subject, and where cruelty against animal is an issue. Unless you are not permitted, you cannot do research on animals. So that guidelines are there. I'll come back to that. And dealing with genetically modified organism, environment, or hunting, killing of endangered species. So it's an environmental issue. Experiment. Then ethics in scientific communication. When you are writing, how ethics can be compromised. When you are writing, it can be compromised many ways. One is falsification, fabrication of data, collusion. There are so many things which lead into compromise of ethics in scientific publication. Any research that has to be put as a publication for others to read. So these are some of the issues, the 4 kinds of research. Now, let me take a little history on that to introduce this concept. Whenever we talk about ethics in research, which is dealing with human being, Nuremberg Code, which is in 1947, comes to our mind. There were criminal proceedings against 23 leading German physicians and administrators for their willing participation in war crimes against humanity. And there are horrifying procedures were conducted for research purpose on thousands of concentration camp prisoners. And this is conducted without their knowledge. So the picture you can see that that incident is called Nuremberg trials. This is from history, one history. And second one, Tuskegee study. This is part of research conducted by US Public Health Service, where 600 low-income African American males, out of that 400 were infected with syphilis, and they were being monitored for 40 years for medical examination, and their issue is not told to them. And even though a proven cure, that is penicillin, became available in 1950s, this continued up to 1972 with the participant being denied. And they were denied treatment because they want to do experiment in the syphilis patient. And what happened? Ultimately, many participants died of syphilis during the study. The picture, you can see that the low-income African-American males. conducted. So this is compromise of ethics in research, which cause death of human being, which cannot be accepted as a social animal. Another one more case I will get, thalidomide use, which are generally used in 1950s to combat unpleasant symptoms associated with pregnancy. जो बच्चे होने वाला औरत है उनको साथ ये experiment कर सकता था. So one way it was very useful, you know, they are having local nausea and all this. So this drug was investigational and in testing phase. So at the end it was discovered that it has a teratogenic effect. What is teratono? Which cause severe deformities in babies. And this thalidomide was banned in the worldwide. What was the outcome of that use? 12,000 babies were born with severe deformities. This is again a misconduct in research, compromising the ethical issues in research, especially when conducting with human. So I divided 4. I will not be discussing everything, which is out of the scope of this module. So I just wanted to highlight these are some of the international examples which everyone take to introduce the compromise of ethics in research. So how manifestation of academic research, the manifestations of academic research come? Cheating in assignments or sessionals or in examination, which you have seen a photograph there. Then data manipulation and tampering of data. There are many scientists, even Nobel laureate, they were being challenged for manipulation of data. And data misrepresentation, data fabrication and falsification. These terms, just remember, is collusion and any kind of unethical practices or inappropriate sourcing of data. These are almost 8 kinds of, and one is plagiarism. So ethical compromise or compromising on the academic integrity is not just plagiarism. It's one component, but serious and major. So that will have a separate module to discuss. So ethics are underlying tenets of conducting high quality research. That is what this naithanikata is, the things which we need to have it inside us. So means our body, soul and mind should work together to be ethically correct while doing it. And honesty, ethics, honesty, transparency, accountability, trust in academic and research endeavors. This word was coined by Don Maccabee, who is also treated as father of research on academic integrity. And you will also listen a lot of terms associated, which I have shown. What was that slide which was shown earlier, which has moral code, avoidance of plagiarism, maintenance of academic standards, avoidance of cheating exam, honesty, rigor, research, and clarity in research result. That means avoidance of falsification or manipulation of data. Especially this happened, every research, we generally stand on the shoulder of the giant. Research. So we try to follow somebody. Obviously, somebody's work will come to us. Or to get good result, we may manipulate data. So academic misconduct is an action or attempt that may result in creating an unfair academic advantage for oneself or unfair disadvantage for any other person of the academic community. So that will reflect both ways. One is a favor for the person who is doing it, another one tampering or insulting someone else by taking it. So that is what is academic misconduct. It happened when standards of academic integrity or code of academic ethics are compromised. So code of academic ethics plus academic integrity. If it is diluted, academic misconduct will definitely happen. And there are examples like American Physical Association defines it contained. How exactly it happened? It is because of fabrication, falsification, manipulation, tampering, plagiarism in proposing, performing, reviewing research, and reporting research result. Anything. That is what told. Now let us see what is fabrication. Each these terms let us look at quickly. Fabrication or falsification of data. Now let us see these words in details, which I made like fabrication, falsification of data. I have tried to translate it with my assistants in Hindi also. So what I'll tell in English and Hindi will be displayed. जो हिंदी आपको पढ़ना है वो आपका slide में आ जाएंगे. So intentional making up of data or result or unauthorized falsification reporting in the research article amount to data falsification or data fabrication. Let us say you collected 1,000 people data and you are doing an average calculation of the age group who responded. The average may be original data, it may be 35. Average you are getting. I'm telling an example. अगर ये 35 के बारे में आप 30 होगा तो आपका रिजल्ट में थोड़ा चेंजेस आ सकता है. इसलिए जो एज ग्रुप वाला थोड़ा आगे पीछे मैनिपुलेट करता है 100 का और 200 का और मे बी एवरीबॉडी. दिस इज व्हाट इज लाइक falsification or fabrication of data. And another data falsification is the practice of adding fictitious data to real data sets. I conducted survey of 100 users and I don't have time. What I will do? The other 400 I will manipulate. Okay, anyway, 100 is giving like this, so I will tick mark that. So anybody can do a survey questionnaire can be manipulated, anybody. That's why such even one sheet or two sheets that should not be done by researchers. So that is what is data falsification. It is manipulation of research material, even equipment and process, this can be manipulated. One of the scientists I don't want to name now in international community, especially he claimed that embryos can be born in the lab. That means human babies can be born in lab. Which country I don't want to name now. Anyway, it's not from our country. Now, human babies can be born in lab. That is based on one of the experimental research. And he was even slated for the Nobel Prize. But later it came to know he has manipulated the data, the equipment and process. And omitting or suppressing data result without scientific and statistical justification. Such a research is not accurately represented in a research record and which will mislead the other researcher which they are going to follow. So you know, it has a lot of social cause also when we manipulate data. Now, if anything is happening, let us say that somebody published an article with manipulation of data. What else we can do now? It is published, but people find it wrong. Now, when you search that article will come. As a user, a researcher, you will feel that, okay, it is already there as a publication. He may not have withdrawn from all source. You know, nowadays, one article is published in an art journal. You will also have some of the content in maybe ResearchGate or anywhere abstract level, or other people may be indexing you, but the original document is withdrawn. So that is what is called a retraction watch. There is a retraction watch, the kind of organization, NGO, they will start checking this kind of data and put it in the database. So we have to check the retraction watch, the retraction watch journals also to see whether the origin article is been withdrawn or not. If your article is having more than 60% plagiarism in country, UGC as per notification, registration of the research scholar will be cancelled. If it is a student that did it. Now, if it is, you have to withdraw the script from the original publisher, and that has to put into retraction. So some examples are given here. Researcher, Japan Stem Cell Institute, falsified nearly all images in a paper in 2000. So the news I have the clippings and I have given there. And tracking retraction as a window into scientific process. So that should be making as a habit now. When you check it, also check it whether it is retracted or not. Searching our soul or the retract paper after researcher admin fabricating data. So any mistake is done and it is caught. So what is the solution? Retract. Put it in the retraction. So generally why this is happening? Scientific falsification. What are the reasons? Cum hore is a scientific falsification. So one is pride. Motivation is that when I invent first vaccine for COVID, I become a celebrity in all over world. So a little manipulation. I feel that it's okay to prove my scientific research. That could be one reason, perhaps. The researcher pride is such that they just have to be right. Abhiman, correction. मैं correction नहीं करेगा. मैं इतना pride. ये one reason. दूसरा है money, that you know. If you have a kind of patent for a vaccine in COVID, you are a millionaire now. So that's why but it will not cure properly, or it will have scientific effect if you are not done the clinical trial properly. If the researcher feel that funding may be cut and the result cannot be proven in the favor of the finance of the project. So that is another reason, not only money you receive. You have been funded by a research organization or university to do a project, and you are not able to finish it in time. The researcher may perceive that falsification data may be overall study, and there may be even instance where researcher is dependent upon assistant for early reporting and information may be falsified. So I have given the URL for reading more on this, the reasons behind the falsification and resign. The other one is reasons. Fabrication ka karan kya hai? One is pressure to publish. So many are there. I did not list all. Lack of funding, complexity of the work, tough tasks to be completed. Research, especially in biochemistry, physics, and other field, there is a huge data set that are difficult to generate and manage. Open drug discovery, where people exchange and share a lot of data. And image pictures, that satellite images of agriculture field captured all over the nation to test it for data, such kind of thing. So if you don't get that kind of data, you try to get little fabricate a portion and do it. And lack of standards for replication. There are a number of other things which may also cause for fabrication. And I have already addressed what is manipulation of data. Other point is manipulation or tampering of data. Manipulation of data means instead of writing 500, you write 5,000. Rearranging or reorganizing the research data by applying logic and calculation to produce a set of data different from the original. So you take somebody's experiment, take all the data, change the data so that it will look like you have done a new. This is manipulation, tampering of data. And other one is intention of giving false result, including manipulation of images. So micrograph, gels, radiobiologic images, all these can be tampered to look new, which is already taken from the existing images. Or removing the outliers, inconvenient results, changing data points, and variations in the graph, all this. So one example, one journal titled Biochemical Pharmacology and Molecular Pharmacology retracted 7 and 2 articles respectively, in which one of the professor working at MD Anderson University of Texas, he was a co-author. All 9 articles were retracted to inappropriate and unacceptable image manipulation. This is image manipulation of image. So that is another reason. And there are a couple of examples which expression of concern, 6 corrections and 2 unexplained withdrawal to expression of one of the scientists. And I will be avoiding mentioning the names there, which you can read it. And the last point is collusion. And plagiarism is left out, which will be discussed later. Collusion is when one person or institution, when you are on collaborative research, you try to intentionally collaborate with the researcher who is working with the confidential data. So, and with the falsified intention. That means you have a dishonesty to deal with the person. So inappropriate collaboration may be accidental, but collusion is deliberate attempt. Collusion, you sign up as a co-author for a paper with an international agency who deal with this, and this data you pass it on to somebody or publishing it as your own. So that is what is collusion. So at the level of students and researcher, collusion occur when a student or researcher submit an assignment. This generally happens. 4 people are working in an assignment simultaneously. One of them take all the data and submit it. Yeah, this is my job. A simple example of like students, how they do collusion on this. And it's not plagiarism. You can understand, it's just a misconduct. Plagiarism is copying, and this is 4 of them are doing, originally doing, but one happened to. This happens with the research supervisor also. If 3 people are under one guide and all of them are working on same project, and one researcher will take the data and all the result and publish it in a paper, maybe along with the guide's name, but the other 2 students, they are being left behind, who helped or who are also working equally with the project. So that is what is called collusion. And some examples of collusions are writing and arranging an assignment for another person. And you know what is ghost writing in PhD. This is very common, ghost writing. Engage a person for writing for you is that. And borrowing and taking material from another person's, working on an assignment with another student, presenting it as your work, adding names to research article of person who did not contribute to it. This is very common in, yeah. You add somebody's name because they are your friend, or you want to appease somebody, maybe your senior for something. You put their name where they have not contributed. And buying or selling assignment, part of assignment online. Now, there are so many agencies working like that. If you give the topic, they will write for you. So these are all coming under the misconduct and also pollution. So that's all about pollution. And there are a number of industrial sponsored research, including sponsored by poultry, tobacco, chemical, pharmaceutical industry, where pollutions have been identified. And other unethical practice is intentional and knowing and reckless regard for ethical practice in conduct of research. So we can have a lot of words to use it, but something is that researcher intentionally do it. Sometimes some with unintentionally that may happen in research. Typo, unintentional, and the result get wrong. Printing mistake, data transfer error, all this may. So research misconduct contains all this, and scientific research should focus on all these terms to learn it more and try to be a genuine researcher. And ultimately plagiarism, which I will address into next sessions. So in summary, what I want to mention is that student and faculty indulged in research misconduct will be caught in some point of time. And even if that they are caught and punished, still the impact of research will continue in the society. So that is to be avoided. for poor and inadequate supervision is one of the reasons for misconduct. Inadequate training in technical and academic writing is another reason. Pressure on students to publish by anybody, supervisor, parents, or guardian, relative. This could also be one reason for misconduct. You know what are the benefits you are getting. So strategies to curb academic misconduct is promotion of academic integrity, part of the syllabus. Train the syllabus properly, that is equip students with tools and technique. If you are talking about plagiarism, they should also have tools to check themselves. And more than that, supervisor and faculty should lead as examples and have the policy of academic integrity in the curriculum itself. So these are some of the misconduct. And cheating in examination, I have shown one picture there. Now look at that. Technology is moving ahead. There could be a lot of chance loopholes where people can look at that. How this picture shows some of the cheating in academic assignment examination. And you can see that nails are used for, nail art is used for denoting some of the formulas. The other one is that normal, pass it that simple sip in examination. And you can use long nail for writing and keep the nail, long nails for writing, nails, writing and keeping the nail inside examination. You can see this much. If invigilator is not very serious, this will not be got. And ultimately using the gadget, technological gadget. And it is very important for the supervisor to update their knowledge about the gadget, about the work of mobile phone. When mobile phone was invented, the SMS was there, net was not used. The question paper could be scanned and sent to somebody and the result. Then now mobile is banned in the classroom. Mobile cannot use. But there are other gadgets coming now. You can have a small hearing aid keeping here, and wireless Bluetooth or wireless, you can transmit the scanned image of your question paper and the answer will come your. So how do you come to know? That's why technologically also we should be aware. So one of the things which are shown here is simple watch, smart watch, where you can have it. There are so many tools which are coming. People, students try to use it. And so with this, I think I will stop about this all terms. And I request all of you follow ethics properly. And summary, I have introduced the academic integrity and research conduct in detail, and the words which are very common in using to denote the academic dishonesty: cheating, data manipulation, fabrication, falsification, data misrepresentation, and plagiarism to be discussed in detail. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next module, which is very interesting. I'll be talking about plagiarism, definition and types, plus UGC's policies. If plagiarism is caught, what are the punishment which will be given by the institute to the faculty? So plagiarism is treated at university or institution level now. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.
I would like to thank the resource person for an interesting session. He has really opened various aspects of research to all of us. He has talked about such a topic which is really complex and which is really something which requires a lot of technical analysis and technical knowledge. But he made it very simple with his lucid and interesting talk with a lot of examples. I would like to thank resource person on behalf of all the viewers, on behalf of all the listeners, and on behalf of UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. Thank you very much.